It's always sad to see people not be able to experience the game they want, and now that is going to happen with Xbox users because Steam Hearts and Advanced Variable Geo Saturn Tribute has canceled its Xbox port over needing more censorship. I have a few different things to show off, but before I get into the topic, if you enjoy the content I create, check out the links in the description, join the community in my live streams, and consider supporting through Patreon or YouTube memberships. Now, over the years, we have seen so many platform holders demand censorship, whether it is Microsoft or Sony or even Nintendo at times and Valve. They demand developers censor their work left, right, and center. And I completely understand that developers need to make money, so there are times that they will alter their creation. But in this case, if you are an Xbox user who is planning to purchase this, you're no longer going to get that experience because we're finding out that the Japanese publisher City Connection has announced they've canceled the Xbox One version for Steam Hearts and Advanced Variable Geo Saturn Tribute, citing a request to censor or alter the game more. Due to the nature of the game being a revival of an exciting and controversial work, we have been developing this title with the goal of providing a common gaming experience across multiple platforms, they stated. They said, while each platform has its own standards and we have made many adjustments to the content of the game, we have come to the conclusion that we need to make significant changes to the expression of the game for the Xbox version, and that is just not going to sit right with them. Now, if you don't know what kind of Steam Hearts is, it is a vertically scrolling shoot 'em up, and it is an H game. It is an eroge. It is a game that has very sexually suggestive content, and I'm sure that you've probably seen images of it around at some point or another. Very beautiful artwork, in my opinion. And when it had originally came out, yeah, it did cause a bit of a stir because of this content. Which, of course, I think is very funny because there are so many explicit games that release nowadays that platform holders will allow onto their platforms, like Steam, for example. There are tons of hentai games and sexually explicit games on Steam, but yet Valve is extremely inconsistent, so they will ban certain ones because they think a line has kind of been drawn and that developer has crossed over it. Unfortunately, this comes down to platforms not having consistent guidelines for developers to follow. One day, employee A might say, oh no, this content is inappropriate and unacceptable, and then ban a game or demand the developer censor it. But the next day, employee B might say, oh, this is actually perfectly fine, and then allow it on their platform. There are no consistent guidelines that the employees are following to ban or allow something on a platform, and then developers are not even told a clear and concise list of rules as to what can make it on a platform. It is very unfortunate and a very hard time to be a developer because look at PlayStation, for example. They will ban content, yet they will also allow their first party developers to do whatever the hell they want. Look at, The Last of Us Part 2. Oh, yeah, you can be doing back shots on Abby, but God forbid you have anime titties in a game. It says, though, that a port, of course, for the Sega Saturn was released in '98 as the Saturn was beginning to lose market share in preparation for the November launch of the Dreamcast, but it talks about the content itself. The Saturn version comes with a yellow seal warning of the erotic content of the game. The game did not receive a red seal, which is for even more explicit content, but again, the graphics were redrawn, but this version retains the cooperative mode and also includes more secondary weapons, but it also makes more use of the scaling and rotation effects, though Eroge was known for being more graphic on personal computers than consoles, so when the game was ported to the PC Engine and Saturn, the cutscenes were completely redrawn to be less graphic, albeit more suggestive. So the Saturn version is the kind of most censored, and now that we're seeing this release in modern day, there are going to be a lot of, unfortunately, either changes, or in this case, the developer is saying they will not go ahead with dumbing it down even more for Xbox. Now, this is releasing on multiple platforms. My question is, what is going to happen on Steam? Because Steam also is very inconsistent when it comes to content. As you can see in the image here, there is a lot of skin showing on a lot of these characters, and it would not shock me if they also had demanded a more toned down version version, but at this point in time, it is still going to be releasing on the platform. Though the developers ended up saying that this is a difficult decision to make, but we have come to this conclusion. We sincerely apologize to everyone who is looking forward to the release of the Xbox version. We would like to continue to deliver our works to you on each platform, including Xbox. And additionally, the original sensual scenes have been thoughtfully adapted for a modern revival, respecting the heroine's privacy while maintaining the essence of the classic. So it does seem that it is going to be toned down in some way. It could just ultimately be the kind of older version, maybe with a few more tweaks. Either way, to me, any censorship is disappointing to hear. Now, when we hear of a Japanese company talking about a modern revival and it being thoughtfully adapted, it just to me screams that they are trying to make this product appeal to a global audience. So there are already going to be a lot of people really disappointed by hearing this. Never mind the fact that it's not releasing on Xbox now. Now, I will say I am happy to hear that they didn't completely dumb down the experience just to put it on Xbox, but I still need to know what was ultimately toned back in general before I would go ahead and support this. Now, I've talked a lot about Xbox over the years. Unfortunately, I know why this is happening. I had talked about this in a video, I believe like 2 to 2.5 years ago. But they had announced their kind of, as they call it, gaming for everyone product inclusion framework. And they discussed kind of content in games that developers need to consider. And part of that has to do with the outfits that characters are wearing and how females are presented. One of the big sections were, are you reinforcing any negative gender stereotypes? Are you unnecessarily introducing gender and gender barriers into your code or design? Are you creating playable female characters that are equal in skill and ability to their male peers? Are your female characters equipped with clothing and armor that fits their tasks? Do they have exaggerated body proportions? And as you can see, some of them are basically just wearing little pieces of fabric here and ribbons. So I have a feeling this is probably why Xbox was like, no, 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 this can't actually make it onto the platform unless you censor it even more, which of course is just really, really disappointing to hear. And I mean, Microsoft over the years has implemented a lot of these different kind of questions, like, do all your characters and player depictions look the same? What percentage of screen time is held by different gender or racial identities? You have questions like, do the characters have the exaggerated body proportions? Would you feel proud to show a member of a community how their culture or character is depicted within your experience? So I'll definitely be keeping my eye on this to see if they make any more announcements, but so far there are a lot of people really disappointed. In short, Japanese dev wasted valuable time developing an Xbox version. This is weird considering I haven't heard Xbox censoring anything from Japan. This definitely is the case. They do censor content from Japan. They're just quiet about it. More censorship, meaning the game is already censored on other platforms. Good, I hope more devs cut ties with censor-happy publishers more. This game needed zero censorship. Destroy all censors. So I'll be keeping my eye on this. I will definitely let you guys know if there are any updates, but right now, if you were planning to play this, I would probably hold back until we get some more images and screenshots and just some more information, because it seems that it is going to be censored all around. But if you were planning on playing this via the Xbox port, you're not going to be able to now. But that's all that I really had to discuss in this video. Let everyone know your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this, give it a like, and if you didn't, give it a dislike. I appreciate your support either way, but I'll talk to you all again in the next video really soon.